everyone, this is Cricket Barrientos, Sounds of Autism, and I'm here today. We're so grateful with Mayor Schoaf of Litchfield Park, Arizona. Hi, Mayor. How are you today?
I'm good, Crystal. How are you?
Good, thank you. So this interview that we're doing today, this podcast, is just to talk a little bit about the Unified Responder Community Award that you had received from us last month. And we just want to share a little bit about that because I don't think anybody in your city was really aware of what our organization does with the cities. A lot of it is disclosed after the fact because we really want to know that the work that's being done is genuine and true, and you're not doing it because you're on stage. You're just doing it because you are kind people, which we all know, and you're just making impact in your community. So the first question that we're going to talk about, the city of Litchfield Park has made a very big impact by supporting the mental and behavioral health community, especially under your leadership. You are a true responder of autism and others at risk. How did you get your city leaders to get behind this? And why was this important to all of you to be supportive of mental behavioral health and the autism population?
I'm going to be honest. Getting our city leadership behind this was not a heavy lift. Uh, the city council in Litchfield is different than at least many city councils. All the council members, including the mayor, are volunteers, so we're not being paid for serving on the council or serving as mayor. So you end up with a group that is dedicated to serving the public. Our direction or our focus is on our residents, but I think all the people on the council have a genuine desire to serve all the residents in the West Valley, to the extent that we can. And so serving and helping in areas like autism and other subpopulations that needs particular help, I think is a natural thing for us to do.
That's very interesting. And I'm so glad you shared that with me because it really, as a nonprofit, I mean, this is it's a lot of work sometimes to support the communities that need the support, and many of us in this world, have left a career, and we do this, and there's not a lot of times there's not a lot of financial payments made because we just don't have the funding to do it. We would rather help the community we're serving. So that's amazing to me that I had no idea that was your makeup in the city of Litchfield Park, which is even more impressive. So thank you for sharing that. I believe a leader in your position has the power to choose a lot of what you want to support, but you do not have to make the choice to meet with me today or support our cause. I understand you have so many causes to support and so many things that you're working on, especially after you shared all that. What along your leadership path did you learn that truly made you lead with compassion for others? And why would you choose to do this when you have a million other things you could do? Why choose to do this, and why get behind a cause like ours?
Uh, that's obviously a very kind of a deep question. It probably can't be, we can't do more than just scratch the surface of what leads people to do things like this. Um, we, I think we all need to take stock in the gifts that we receive.
It's okay.
And if you do that, you find out that the trying to pay it forward really does bring benefits.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm so grateful that you're able to be vulnerable and share that because this journey is, I've been doing this for 15 years in Goodyear and throughout the West Valley. And there's a lot of heartbreak, a lot of tough things happening in the West Valley with a lot of families. And, a lot of times they feel very alone and they don't feel like our leaders are always behind them. And just you and your vulnerability and Mayor Pizzillo, when I spoke with him, and Mayor Orsborn, it's so amazing to me how aligned you all are with serving your community and people. I grew up in a household. My dad was a teacher and my mom worked for the city. and we had three girls, and we were very involved in the community with the Elks Club. And we were in a very small town in Manistee, Michigan. And the Elks Club was like every Friday we would serve our time doing fish fries, and the next night we would do prime rib, and and we were always involved in that. That's probably how I got my interest in restaurants. But we learned early to serve, and as you said, it's a very deep question, yes, because there's something in your life that guided you here, and if you believe in faith and you have faith in God, then that could be part of it as well. So thank you for just being vulnerable and answering that question. In February 2026, Sounds of Autism presented the City of Litchfield Park with a Unified Responder Community Award. This was earned by completing an unannounced rubric that we had created with college students from all over the state of Arizona in 2020. These students needed in-service hours during a time when COVID was happening, and they couldn't do it out in the community. So we had to create creative programs for them to do their in-service hours, because that was something the teachers didn't take away. So we were able to have a huge reach, and these individuals, everything from Maricopa Community Colleges all the way up to ASU, NAU, U of A, Huntington University, Grand Canyon University, all these students started reaching out to us, and we had, it's sometimes 10 to 20 students at a time per semester working with us to unify communities. What does that mean? It means that they would reach out to mayors and city council offices. They would reach out to police and fire departments. They would reach out to the educational leaders, nonprofits, city programs, just people in resource centers, people in the community that were serving. And at that time, you were really serving because everybody was lost. And they said, we asked them to tell us the amount of time it took for somebody to respond to a request that they may have made. I would like to meet with you. I would like to interview you. I would like to just ask a few questions. And if they responded within 24 to 48 hours, which your city did, on all these different boxes, we would check them, right? And there were a lot of things you had to do. You didn't even know. Like I said, nobody was aware. So they were doing these things unconditionally. And when we completed everything, we would do a couple different little checks just to make sure. We would talk to some families that lived in your city. We would ask them what their opinion was. And once we really felt like everybody kind of did what needed to be done to serve these vulnerable populations, we were able to present you with your award. And the city of Goodyear, the city of Buckeye, Surprise, Avondale, and Litchfield Park were the first 5 cities in the West Valley. Luke Air Force Base will be receiving a unique award because theirs is a little different situation. And then we're working on Glendale, El Mirage, Peoria, West Phoenix, and Tolleson. And once those are done, then we will launch South and North. I'm sorry, East and North, and then we'll finish the South at the end. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because when we first started this in 2020, there were very few adaptive programs. The schools were doing an okay job, but not a great job. And through COVID, we were able to get all of these different leaders, probably because we didn't have anything else to do, right? We were all on Zoom calls and we learned Zoom. We were able to get all of these individuals to start finding ways to serve just a little bit more than what we were doing with this population. So congratulations to your city and to the work that you're doing with your city council members, your city managers. I sit in a lot of your meetings. I've been through a lot of your meetings, and you guys are doing awesome. I mean, just tons of growth and tons of things that you're doing. And whenever there's an issue, I feel like you all work together very well to figure out solutions. We're now working with the Top of the Hill High School. I know your city helped make that happen. That's a huge accomplishment. We'll be working directly with them. Lots of things happening with the autism population at that school this year coming. So, I just want to say thank you. And I would love to have a response from you. I just want to know, did you know this was going on? And were you aware this award was coming to you?
I'm going to say no and no. I don't think that our city staff did not treat your request differently than what they treat requests in general. We are dedicated to serving our public, and you're included in our public, obviously. So we did what we normally do. So I'm happy to hear that the staff performed so admirably without knowing that they were under inspection, so to speak. But it is literally that's the way we try to conduct business, in our city.
And one of your city council members, the night after I had done that presentation, which I'll be honest with you, I was so nervous at that presentation. I don't get nervous speaking to people, but that night, for whatever reason, there was just this thing in the room that made me nervous. And I think it was because I was so proud of what you guys had accomplished. And the next night I went to the West Valley Mavericks. I had to present there, and I was in my zone, very comfortable. And one of your city council members was attending that meeting as well. And he said, Cricket, can you share with me how come we received this award? He goes, it was so impressive. Like we really were blown away by that. And I said, oh, you guys, you've just, and I didn't get a whole chance to explain everything, but I got to just kind of tell him, like, you guys have done a great job. Your school districts are doing amazing. I know I've seen you at a few meetings and with Agua Fria High School District. I know you're behind them. And Mark Eastlis and I have worked since 2020. We've drove around blocks looking for, ways to serve and support. And now he's a unified responder community. Litchfield Elementary School District has done an amazing job, but their superintendents are behind what we're doing. I know you guys work right now with Avondale Police Department and Fire. I think is done through good. We have all of them on board. Like everybody is doing what they need to do to serve and support. And recently, I actually presented at one of the Litchfield Park community members that lives in your community. And when I was leaving, she ran out of the house and she said, "Wait, you can't leave. I have a story to tell you." And it was about a person, an adult now, that she watched grow up in the city of Litchfield. And he walks down the streets of Litchfield Park, and his parents let him do it independently because everybody in the community knows this individual. And she says he's just an amazing individual. We all love him. And as a community, we watch out for this individual as he's walking through the city to make sure that he's safe. And she's like, and everything you're doing, and just hearing that our mayor is on board and the city council, she goes, it's just so peaceful. It makes me feel at peace being here in this community. So again, congratulations. It's just an amazing job. We hear a lot of great things about the city. And I think my husband and I are looking at moving into your city, one of the county islands. So we're excited about that.
Well, you're
Um,
always welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I have no problem doing that. I think it would be great. Um, the city leaders or just leaders in general really need to know the importance about leading a community in a position like yours. And we have people that follow us on social media, so people will see this, and we have them sharing this in Pakistan, Canada, Mexico, Ireland, Europe. I mean, we're everywhere. So if somebody were watching this and they, didn't really understand the makeup of a city council or a mayor's position, what would you say to them about leadership and remaining unified so that you could work together? What kind of advice would you give them, or what would you say about, just even the way, like you said, we just do it. We don't think about it. We just do it because that's who we are. But what would you say to others that are watching this?
I think we're blessed in Litchfield in that our council is unified in trying to accomplish a mission that we all agree on. And the mission is centered on maintaining the lifestyle in Litchfield Park, maintaining the atmosphere as a small town, maintaining the safety of our neighborhoods and the life in our neighborhoods. So if everyone can agree on mission as the goal, then most of the things that you have to decide, you can find consensus in how to do it. We don't always end up starting out with consensus, but we spend some time together and we talk about it. And we treat each other with enough respect that people can bring out their ideas, and they can allow their ideas to be changed over the period of a conversation so that at the end of the day we can find consensus. And it makes it a lot better when we can bring a path forward. If you can describe a path forward to our staff and to our residents that we can all agree on, because then they can buy into it. So it makes the whole atmosphere a lot less contentious.
I
So
love it.
you don't see, we all live in a world that is highlighted by contention. Everything we do, everything we tell you, you look at the TV, you look at a newspaper, um, you look on a Google search, whatever. All you see is people who are disagreeing with each other, and they're disagreeing in a way that doesn't allow them ever to reach agreement. So it ends up in stalemate and acrimony, and we try to keep that out of our local politics. And quite frankly, we do it in the city, but we also do it across our region. We have, over the last decades, we have formed a variety of informal opportunities for the mayors to get together and discuss how the cities are reacting and working together. We have informal groups that include mayors and managers, so the mayors and managers as a team can talk with one another. We have an informal group that meets regularly with Luke Air Force Base. And Luke Air Force Base has some informal groups where they meet with some of our staff on a regular basis. So we do a number of things, I think, in the Southwest Valley that help allow people to work together in a way that is not contentious and does not breed acrimony.
I love it. I wanted to ask, do you know anybody personally that lives with autism? And the answer doesn't have to be yes. Out of the three mayors, and you'll be the third that I've done this with, two said no, I don't have a personal connection, which is amazing to me because they're still willing to support even though they don't have that personal connection.
Well, I'm going to have to be honest. I'm going to be the mayor that tells you yes. I
Oh,
actually I actually know a young man quite well that known him for many many years. Uh, he describes himself as the mayor. He either he intends to be the mayor one day. So
that's amazing. Well, you know what? You obviously have given him something to make him want to do that, which is amazing to me. And like I said, this family member that lives in your city that ran out after me, she said, you know, so many times these kids are left behind. And so I'm going to share with you something that Mark Eastlis gave to us with our organization. I met with him in 2020, and it was when COVID was happening, and he was getting ready to build the new Goodyear High School, which is the Mavericks high school. The Mavericks is their um, oh gosh, Scott, what do you call it? uh, I forget the name of it, but the Mavericks is it's called Goodyear High School, and the Mavericks are their mascot. Thank you. And so um, he drove me by the location, and he said, "Cricket, I love doing things a little different." And I said, "Oh, I get that about you, you know." And he said, "We're going to go more of an academy mentality with a public high school. That's my goal before I retire." And I said, "Okay, well, what does that mean to you?" And he said, "Well, you know, if kids are meant to go to college, I'm going to get them on that path. And if they're not meant to go to college and they need to be in a trade or something different, I'm going to work on that." He goes, "But the one population that we haven't really focused on, and I would like to focus on, is those with special needs." And I said, "Mark, you're speaking my language now because, you know, in 2012, I met with Mabel Paget Elementary a month after they opened. I met with 35 educators. 19 did not want to mainstream kids with disabilities into the general population because they felt that they had too many kids they needed to focus on, and that one kid might take all their attention." And I said, "Listen, I ran restaurants when I was doing my career for over 30 years. I had multiple restaurants. And when you have a restaurant and you're the only manager in the building and you have, you know, sometimes thousands of people, you better know how to move information through your people, and you better be able to hold people accountable." And so I was talking my restaurant language with teachers in a classroom and said, you take your top 10%, those are your leaders, and you teach them by giving them students that need special attention. And if you pair those two up, not only do you balance your classroom, but you're going to make some of the best leaders. When they come work for me in the host stand, I won't have to teach them leadership skills because you're doing that already. And they adopted our program, and it was an amazing turn. And Gina DeCoste was one of the people that kind of started that with me. And I remember a teacher about 5 years later came up to me and she's like, her son was in band, my daughter was in band. And she said, Cricket, I'm a teacher at Mabel Pageant. I met you 5 years ago. You presented to us. And that day was life-changing for all of us because none of us believed in what you were talking about. We came together and we made it happen. Now Mark Islas is saying, I want to do the same thing. He said, Cricket, I can give 35 to 40 jobs per high school to these students if we start them at freshman year and start training them. By the time we get to their graduation, they will be able to work for me. And if they can't, we have determined what it is that they might be able to do. And I said, Mark, that's very important because the statistics of autism is 1 in 31, and that's based off of a 2022 statistic. So who knows what the number is today? And I said, and 70-ish% of those individuals do not receive Social Security or any type of support and cannot hold a job, cannot access transportation. So they're sitting at home as a couch potato by mom and dad work. And I said, and there is no plan for them. So you doing this is going to be what we talk about with everybody throughout the world. And so Mark offered us the opportunity to use the Hilltop High School or Arts Academy to host events that will bring community in and discuss workforce development and the importance of why. And these students, these talented students will get up there and they'll do their talent show. And most of them are graduates of his high school district. So it's an amazing opportunity. And again, I know you're involved with this. I know you're involved with these types of things. And it's just, thank you. Thank you for caring. Thank you for having such a big heart, and thank you for just being a great leader because you are making a difference. And I know sometimes in your position, when I was a leader, you don't always hear these things, you always hear the bad stuff, but you don't always get the good stuff. So, I just wanted to say thank you publicly and let you know that we're really proud to be a partner with you guys.
Well, thank you for your nice comments. The thing that is very enjoyable to me is to see some of these things come together. What's going to happen on with the Hilltop Arts Academy and the Hilltop Performing Arts Center, coupled with the library that we're building and the museum with it's the P.W. Litchfield Heritage Center, which is going to be a museum for the Southwest Valley. Those assets are going to be tremendous assets for our region. And I'm glad to hear that, the school district and Mark are able to incorporate you into that and incorporate your program in and hopefully benefit the kids that you represent. Hopefully that they will get benefited tremendously by, using the Performing Arts Center. As I think it's going to be one of the most important public facilities across our region. It's got a lot of potential.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I come from a music family and I write music for autism, for kids with autism. And so it's perfect. I feel like I'm being guided, So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. And if I can say this for you, I know you are a responder of autism and I appreciate it so much in our at-risk populations. And I hope that both of us will continue meeting up at these networking opportunities and just learn more and continue to work together to make this a successful journey for everyone.
But working together, we can make it better.
I agree. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
You have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.